Costa, number 42, Anthony Peterson.
Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's synonymous with chocolate. Even the street lights symbolize the chocolate capital of the world. But chocolate isn't the only treat in Hershey. Thousands visit Hershey Park each summer and relish this town's scenic charm and hospitality. But tonight, Hershey is home to another kind of hunger, felt by the best high school football players from Pennsylvania and Maryland. They've come to Hershey, eager to taste sweet success. It's the final game of their high school careers. The Big 33 Football Classic kicks off next.
Live from Hershey Park Stadium, welcome to the 33rd edition of the Big 33 football game. I'm John Sanders along with Jack Corrigan. When it began, it was Pennsylvania against the United States. It's been Pennsylvania, against Texas, Ohio, and now for the last 6 years against Maryland.
And they have dominated the series Pennsylvania has against Maryland. They've won 4 of the first 5 meetings, and pretty much against all the competition they've done well. Pennsylvanians say they play the best high school football in the country, and at least here in the Big 33, John, they validated that claim.
Keep in mind that this is an all-star game, so there will be some different rules involved.
Well, it's a good idea, too. You want to make some changes to keep the game interesting, to keep the fans in the game, keep it competitive. There are a lot of different rules. We've got more than I could probably try and explain in our couple of moments here.
But we've got plenty of help. Let's go down to the field where Greg Mace and John Reppitz are standing by with more on the rules for tonight's game. Gentlemen?
Thank you, John. You expect to see the best players in the country, and you expect the game to be very, very close. You would expect that, but sometimes the game can get out of hand. It happened a little bit last year, and John Reppitz, there are some rules here to help keep this game very, very competitive.
These teams have only practiced together for 1 week, so the attempt here is to simplify things to make it easier on the players. The most drastic rule concerns a team trailing by 9 points or more. They can receive the next kickoff, so even if a team scores and they're trailing by 9 points or more, they can get the ball right back. As you said, Maryland trailed big last year. They used this rule to get back into the ball game.
Each team must throw 40% of the time. Again, that's so a strong running game doesn't dominate.
And also, the teams have wide receivers, and you have to get them active in the game.
Each player must play at least 15 plays. That's not much of a problem when you have this kind of talent.
No, and they also have people on the sidelines keeping charts on this sort of thing, so nobody gets shortchanged.
The defense, very basic, 5-2-4.
5-2-4 is the same defense that most of these players have played throughout their high school careers, so it's just to keep everything standardized so it doesn't get fancy.
The quarterbacks like this one, no blitzing.
Again, they've only practiced for a week. If somebody misses an assignment, it's a good way to ensure that nobody gets hurt.
Man-to-man coverage, we'll see one-on-one matchups.
One-on-one coverage, and no disguising any zones here because they will be watched very closely from the sidelines. So if somebody's getting into a little bit of zone coverage, they're going to throw a flag on them.
In the 5 years these two teams have met, the point difference has never been more than 14. So we expect a very competitive game tonight. John?
All right, Greg and John, we'll hear more from both of you as the game goes along. I don't know if it's written in the rules or not, but I guess it is. The one thing we also expect to see some outstanding individual players.
Without question, outstanding talent here tonight, John. There has never been a Super Bowl played without at least one alumnus from this game playing in the game. And probably if we could push ahead 5 or 6 years, we'd find somebody from tonight's game playing in a Super Bowl.
We'll be back to talk more about some of the key individuals for both Maryland and Pennsylvania from Hershey Park as we get ready for the 1990 Big 33 football game. Stay with us. Tonight's Big 33 football game from Hershey is brought to you by True Value. You can do it with True Value stores. By Toyota. See your Toyota dealer today for some hot deals. By Hills Department Stores. By Domino's. It's time for a Domino's pizza. The Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. By Dodge, where the advantage is Dodge. By Bob Evans Restaurants. By Kunzler Meats, fine meat products since 1901. Meridian Bank, professionals with a personal touch. And by Honda, test drive a Honda at your local dealer today.
Gave proof.
3 minutes. 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 3 minutes.
see. What we shall see.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Big 33 Advisory Board and the Pennsylvania Scholastic Football Coaches Association are proud once again to have PIA, the professional insurance agents of Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware, as the major sponsor of this 33rd Big 33 Football Classic, the Super Bowl of high school all-star football games. PIA and its 4,200 member.
Welcome back once again to Hershey Park Stadium. We get set for tonight's Big 33 game, and you go back through the years from Namath to Montana to Marino and more, always outstanding quarterbacks, and the Pennsylvanians are hoping they see more of the same tonight because their starting quarterback is Kerry Collins, very tall young quarterback.
Outstanding prospect out of the Lancaster area, out of Wilson Area High School, 6'6". He's going to be going to Joe Paterno's place at Penn State, and they have high expectations for Kerry, and it's ironic in this ball game tonight he's going to be throwing to one of his teammates at Penn State, Kyle Brady from Cedar Cliff High School, the only parade All-American first teamer on the Pennsylvania squad. Big target, does an outstanding job on both sides of the football. Speaking of the defensive side of the football, the guy trying to stop things for Pennsylvania will be Kevin Jordan. Parade All-American out of High Point High School in Maryland. He's an outstanding track competitor as well, has won several state titles in track and field. On the offensive side of the football, it'll be John Haverill's quarterback at Gaithersburg High School, Marc Bason, who will be handling the run and shoot offense for the Maryland All-Star team. And in an All-Star game, when a coach has the quarterback he used in high school, John, it's a big advantage.
It's got to be a big plus to him. We've talked a little bit also. We've mentioned some of the schools. They are all very well represented. Almost all of these youngsters have made their decisions about college, and you look at the colleges that are represented. Maryland, by virtue of both teams, has the most, then Penn State. Howard with 5 players from the Maryland squad, then Pitt, and on down the line.
Well, as we have said before, and it certainly bears repeating, this classic has always generated great interest from colleges throughout the country, and tonight's group is no exception.
And the conference that's most well represented here, 14 of these players will go to the Atlantic Coast Conference. We're getting set for the kickoff in Hershey Park Stadium. Back with that right after this.
We had a spotter one year at Georgia Tech.
Once again, the officials of our ball game
and
this
everything.
afternoon. Our referee, Jay
How did he do?
Evans. The umpire is
He'd be like,
Arnie Elisher.
I'd turn to talk
Our linesman,
to
George
Brad Nessler,
Geis.
and he'd be like
The
shoving
line
me out of the
judge,
way so he
Thomas
could
Link.
point to.
Our field judge is Lauren Butch Smith.
Wait a
And the
minute,
back
fella.
judge
Let's
is
get the
Paul
priorities
Skip
in order
Kravitz.
here.
On the clock, Randy Waybright.
Well, yeah, that's.
Our kickoff is being delayed slightly because of the television broadcast
Of course,
this ball game.
blame TV.
We appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
It's all right. They don't know us here, John.
No, I know. I don't care.
The Big 33 Advisory Board and the
Scheduled to start till 10 after
wish to
anyway.
thank BBEC Incorporated, Bruce Barkley Electrical Contractor, for providing
Maryland's
the
receiving.
operations command vehicle that's located at the northeast corner of the stadium.
Obviously, it's not going to do as they said, of course.
Industrial and residential electricians. BBEC is the
31
authorized
more and
distributor
11.
for
Double.
vacuum flow,
Okay.
central vacuum cleaning system of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Incidentally, in
Mason on the
pregame,
far side.
music has been supplied by the Mechanicsburg
Yes.
Wildcat
Marc
Band.
Bason, Bryce DeVille,
Well,
or Bevel.
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 Who's this one? 31.
Under the direction of Mike Snyder. They're
Owens
located at
is
the
at 30.
northeast corner, right on the track. Nice to have you here at Mechanicsburg.
Welcome back to Hershey Park, and we are set for the kickoff for the 33rd annual Big 33 Football Classic in the white uniforms. To the right, Pennsylvania will be kicking off. Greg Fayak will handle the kick chores. He's also going to attend to Penn State as he prepares. There are 3 deep on the other side of the field for Maryland. Maryland will be in the red jerseys, deepest, and in the middle is Bryce Bevel. Marc Bason will be on the far side of the field. And also Anthony Freeman, number 37, to the near side. So 3 deep, Bevel in the middle, Fayak to kick off. Craig Fayak. And we're set for football. Delighted to have you with us on a beautiful evening in Hershey. Fielded at the 10 to the 15, the 20. A little bit of room as he dances across the 25 near the 23-yard line. Mike Tennant down to make the tackle that time. So Maryland will have it for the first time. Freeman's return. Spotted outside the 25 at the 27-yard line. And offensively, a 16-yard return. They will set up with Marc Bason as the quarterback. Coming to the near side, you see Antonio Freeman. He'll be at a wide receiver along with Stanley Dorsey. The running backs are Mason and Brown. It's Dorsey to the far side of the field. They'll start out in the I formation. And it's the fullback straight ahead, Brian Brown from High Point, Maryland High School, who as a freshman ran for over 1,000 yards.
Brian Brown on the carry.
Not quite the size on the offensive line for the Maryland All-Stars that we will see with the Pennsylvania offensive unit, but they've got some good-sized gentlemen headed up by their center, Tim Tatter, who is 6'6" and 245 pounds.
Michael Sigh, number 25, is now in the ballgame. He's to the far side of the field as a wide receiver. We have 2 receivers set to the near side as they start to open it up a bit. And shift 1 more in motion out of the shotgun formation. The pass caught at the 35 and out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. Mason, moving out of the backfield, makes the catch, and the first down of the night goes to Maryland.
Well, that's just what you're going to expect to see out of the run and shoot offense as you look at the setup of the people that we are going to see. And there'll be lots of substitutions, obviously. And we talked about the quarterback, Marc Bason, from Gaithersburg High School, his high school coach coaching the Maryland team. Also keep an eye on Sean Craig, number 75 at tackle. He is a 270-pounder.
And we'll talk more about each of these young men as we go along. We do have right now, I think I'm a bit premature. I thought they had the first down, but they're going to measure just to make sure.
We saw a very basic run and shoot offense right there. You get the offense with some balance, and then you put a man in motion, John, and once he does that, particularly in the situation that we have tonight with nothing but man-to-man coverage, you're going to get all kinds of opportunities, and right there Marc Bason picked up the first down for John Haverhill's Maryland club.
And just beyond the 37-yard line for that first down, John Haverhill, as you mentioned, from Gaithersburg. Both these coaches, tremendous experience. John has been there since '57. On the other side of the field, Jack Young at Towanda High School has been there for 21 years, and each has been coaching a total of 30 years plus. Freeman and Dorsey are the wide receivers. The option play. Down he goes, back near the 30-yard line. Doug Whaley made the tackle. Doug Whaley, in his second All-Star game of the summer, also played in Vegas earlier.
Well, we talked about the basic 5-2 defense that the teams are required to run, but in reality, the defensive ends in the 5-man front are like outside linebackers or extra defensive backs, and Whaley is going to be a strong safety when he plays for the Pitt Panthers. 5'10", 190-pounder, played his high school ball at Upper St. Clair in the Pittsburgh area.
And his coach, Jim Render, is one of the coaches here. 2 wide receivers, Sigh and Freeman to the left, and again they use the motion play. Reversing is the quarterback. He's got room at the 35, the 40, the 45. He's still on his feet, and he will break it down the sideline and go all the way. Marc Bason, a beautiful reverse on the quarterback option, and he races all the way for the touchdown, 68 yards, and a shocker as Maryland jumps ahead. No flags.
Well, I'm sure most of these youngsters on the Pennsylvania defense have not seen much of the run and shoot. You get all the action going one way, and the quick feet of Marc Bason. Look at the speed there. He just outran Eric Billingsley to the corner, and there he went. 68 yards for the first score of the night.
And you also saw Aaron Jackson come inside and really get suckered on the play, and before you knew it, he was long gone. Eric Bachman is the place kicker. Marc Bason doing the holding. The kick is no good. And that's also not real surprising because of the timing situation, but the timing was right on a beautiful touchdown run by Marc Bason of 68 yards, and Maryland here in Hershey Park has jumped ahead 6-0. Here it is again.
One more look. They ran the man in motion, even though he originally lined up as the quarterback. It was the deep snap to Bason. And look at the little head and shoulders fake here, and then he just beats Billingsley to the corner. Didn't have to do much there, John, but when he got out into the flat, knowing it's a one-on-one situation, he froze the cornerback with a hip and shoulder move and then accelerated to the sidelines and took it all the way to the end zone.
A 68-yarder for Bason, and Maryland has jumped ahead here in Hershey Park. So a quick and a good start as far as the young men from Maryland are concerned. I think one of the things you touched upon was the size difference, which definitely does favor Pennsylvania. So it's good in their run and shoot for the Maryland kids that they were able to jump ahead. Bachman will kick it off. We'll have 3 deep. In the middle, it will be Dwayne Miller. Also, Tinker Harris will be back, and Derek Bona. That is number 5, Dwayne Miller from Coatesville. He's the man in the middle. Left-footed style, and it's going to be a very short kick. Fielded at the 23, dropped at the 23-yard line. Loose football. They scramble for it near the 20. And Maryland may have come up with it. No, Pennsylvania found a way to come up with it.
Well, even if they only had 1 week, John, the Maryland kids practiced that play that you always work on. When there's a fumble, start pointing towards the end zone you're heading towards. And the Maryland kids thought they had it. Bona trying to make a running grab on this ball, never got the handle on it, and then made the cardinal mistake right here. Bending down to pick up the ball instead of just covering it there. It skipped all over the place, and somehow a white-shirted Pennsylvania All-Star got there. I think it was Andrew Hyde who fell on the football before the Maryland horde swarmed to the ball.
1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. First chance of the night for Pennsylvania. In motion, it's McCoy, number 4. Set the offense for you. Quick fake and a quick pass into the flat. It is complete to Priest Ramsey. Ramsey spun down. So he picks up a couple of yards on the play, not much more. Tackle made by Donta Jones. Jones headed to Nebraska, number 84, one of the defensive linemen in this 5-2-4 alignment. You see the scoring drive. The big play, of course, all of it by Bason, 68 yards.
Give me some room to work here. Back up, please.
They had the loss on the play. He'll have to catch his breath on a warm night, but very comfortable. It's been bright and sunny all day long. In motion, it's McCoy. Fullback straight ahead with the room at the 30. Outside at the 35 comes Wiesling down the sideline, and he's into Maryland territory. Dropped near the 44-yard line. Carlos Jackson finally caught up with him. Carlos, number 9, closing, but Wiesling with a great run, and right back comes Pennsylvania.
That big offensive line just closed down, and Wiesling cut back. Watch the left side of the line, caved down to the middle. A little bit of a trap action by Kyle Brady, the tight end, who came down and sealed off the linebackers. That enabled Wiesling to have a clear path before Jackson ran him down, but not before he got to the Maryland 44.
Pickup of 33 on the play. In motion again, they've used a lot of this. It's McCoy. The quarterback is Kerry Collins. And on the draw play, drop is Andre Coleman as he gets to about the 40-yard line.
Well, we will see both quarterbacks tonight for the Pennsylvania All-Stars. Kerry Collins at 6'6" out of Wilson will be the guy getting the job done right now, but they've got a host of people headed up by the All-American Kyle Brady. And we mentioned that big offensive line with Tirado and Robsock and Greeley and Neenan and Ruddy. They all go 255 or better, 3 of them over 275.
Bona in the ball game, near side, along with Ramsey. Sweeping out of bounds near the 36-yard line. Coleman carried the football. He got only a couple of yards. It's going to be third down coming up in about 3. Kevin Jordan, number 2, moving up to make the tackle. He's the young man going to UCLA that we talked about. And there is Andre Coleman returning to the huddle. And his coach is Guy Gibbs, and he's headed to Kansas State. Now, you don't see a lot of that.
No, that's very interesting that Kansas State has made the effort to come out this way, but I believe that's where Glenn Mason is now the head coach out of Kansas State. Used to coach at Kent State over in Ohio, so he knows I've got to come to this part of the country to get talent.
McCoy to the far side of the field, Priest Ramsey to the near side as the wide receivers out of the eye on third and a couple. In and out of the hands of the tight end Kyle Brady from Cedar Cliff, and I'd have to say he got the biggest ovation because Cedar Cliff is right in this area.
That's right, in Camp Hill, just across the river from Harrisburg. Brady was open. The pass was a little tall, but you'd expect a guy who goes 6'5" to haul it down anyway. I like his little towel there in the back. PSU number 1.
Yeah, he has made his choice. 6-0 is the score. We're still in the first quarter. And they will go for it on fourth down, and it's about 3. They really need to nudge the ball inside the 35-yard line, closer to the 34. Bona and Bender, the wide receivers. That is Bona in motion. Wiesling straight ahead trying to power for it, and I think he's going to be short. Chad Wiesling, who is going to attend to Maryland. Jordan leading the defensive surge, and I think they've got him short of the first down. Depends on the spot, but he needed to get across the 35, and he will not. Tom Burns also in there as well.
Tried to run that little inside trap again. Good job by the nose man, Sasha Heyer, to back up the center, and that enabled Burns and Jordan and the support people to come up quickly and stop Wiesling shy of the first down.
So Wiesling is stopped. It will be 1st and 10 Maryland. Maryland in red has the lead. The ball spotted outside their own 35-yard line. Let's call it the 36. 6-0. It's still early in the first quarter. 3 wide receivers split to the left side. Actually 4 in the pass pattern, and it is caught out at the 45. Close to a first down is Antonio Freeman. He's from Baltimore Polytechnic and headed to Virginia Tech, and he is very close to a first down. Charlie Williams, linebacker, coming up to make the play.
Well, the run and shoot can employ 3 wide receivers, 4 wide receivers, sometimes even 5 wide receivers. They really spread the defense out. Not as big of a factor here, John, in terms of spreading out the defense because they have to play man-to-man anyway. But now you are extending the coverage area of each one of those defenders. The guy who has the one alone has an awful lot of pressure on him.
The quarterback now is Ray as they alternate, and there is nothing at all for Brian Brown. It will depend on the spot whether he got the first down, but the new quarterback, Craig Ray, from Paliati High School, that's in the Baltimore area, and he is going to attend New Haven. He had some tremendous numbers as a high school quarterback. Lost only 1 game in the 2 years that he was a starter. There is Whaley. He is one of the anchors of the defense from Upper St. Clair, headed to Pitt. Western Pennsylvania Player of the Year, Doug Whaley, and he has stood out in practices, Jack, from what we have heard and talking to the coaches and those who've seen him work out.
Well, they say he is one of those youngsters who loves contact, and that makes him a prototype strong safety. When you find a guy with a nose for the football, that's one of the spots to put him.
Craig Ray, the quarterback, drops it out into the flat. It is caught out there by the running back, Bevel. Bevel into Pennsylvania territory, just short of the 45-yard line. Brian Gelzheiser made the tackle. Another Pittsburgh area player from Baldwin High School, where he played for Don Yanessa.
Well, Anthony Peterson, the inside linebacker, was the man responsible for Bevel, but he got caught up in the traffic again. They just slipped the running back out into the flat. Pick up good solid yardage on first down. You love those second and short play calls.
Here's a guy coaching for over 30 years, since 1957, and he's got the run and shoot going for him. Pump fake, flags are down, and the pass is incomplete. Down near the 40-yard line, it was intended for Bevel, but just a good job that time by Craig Ray of staying alive.
It's going to go against Maryland. I think we'll get some kind of motion infraction. That's exactly what the call is. One of the problems of all-star games, you get about a week's worth of practice, and guys with different cadences and different play systems than they are accustomed to. And We'll get a few of those procedure penalties before the night is
Illegal
over.
motion. Offense. 5 yards, second down.
It'll be second down, and you heard the voice of the referee, Jay Evans. George Geis is the linesman. The umpire is Arnie Leischer. Butch Smith is the field judge, and the back judge is Skip Prepich. A lot of experience as far as these officials are concerned. It is second down and 6. Pass overthrown and incomplete near the 30-yard line. A chance for us to remind you that any rebroadcast or retransmission of this special sports presentation of the 1990 Big 33 Football Classic without the expressed written consent of WHTM Television is strictly prohibited. It'll be third down and 6. Ball is just short of the 50-yard line.
Excuse me, John. I was going to say first long-distance third down play call for John Haverhill. If I get it right, Harville, isn't it? Haverhill, Harville, whatever it is, he's been successful so far.
Very successful. 3 wide receivers split to the near side. Ray fires, and that is complete for a first down. At the 41-yard line, Stanley Dorsey, number 20 from McDonough High School and one of the 14 headed to the ACC. He will play for Duke.
And the Duke Blue Devils will like the crispness with which Dorsey ran this little bench route. Run downfield until you get the cornerback backpedaling and then break it back sharply towards the sidelines, towards the bench. Eric Billingsley made the stop, but not before Dorsey picked up a Maryland first down.
Dorsey will be split to the left side. They will have 3 wide receivers to the near side of the field on 1st and 10. The ball at the 41-yard line. Loose football. Recovered or held on to by Brown. They were all over him, Jack, as he got the ball that time.
Well, as we mentioned when we described the different rules for this ball game, you can't blitz. It doesn't mean you can't do a few different things along the line of scrimmage to try and disrupt things. And they were running a little pinch that time and guessed right on the easy run up the middle and had the 2 defensive tackles, Birchmeyer and Jackson, pinching right down into the hole.
6:10 remaining to be played in the first quarter here at Hershey Park Stadium. Interestingly enough, this stadium is only used at playoff time. No team plays here on a regular basis. Craig Ray is 3 out of 4 passing. Hands off to, Bason in the ball game now. Replacing Ray. McCary by Brown is across the 40. He'll be very close to the 37-yard line. It'll be third down, and again, a long yardage situation here. 3rd and about 6.
Last time in the long yardage situation, they isolated Dorsey to one side and ran the out route. He'll have that same isolation again.
Let's see what Bason has in store, because he turned at 68 yards for a touchdown on the first drive. This is the second possession of the night for Maryland, leading 6-0. Sets, fires, too tall. Antonio Freeman is knifed down on the play by Tinker Harris, but the ball was simply too tall, and it will be 4th down. First punt of the night.
Bason had the time to throw. Freeman, a 6'1", 170-pounder out of Baltimore Polytechnical High School, couldn't climb the ladder to get that one, and Tinker Harris was there to make sure he didn't have any second thoughts about finding the football.
Kevin Jordan back to punt. He's the outstanding defensive player headed to UCLA that we mentioned, but he's also a fine punter. And we have back deep Derek Bona, who calls fair catch at the 10. Lost it.
We got it.
Derek's not having much fun fielding the punt so far. He had to come up on the one kickoff, couldn't handle that. And he muffed the punt, but at the 10, it will be Pennsylvania football. 6-0 is our score here in Hershey Park. We have 5:08 remaining to be played.
Timeout on the field. While we have timeout on behalf of its numerous resort and entertainment facilities, including Hershey Park, the Hershey Hotel, the Hershey Motor Lodge, Convention Center, as well as the Hershey Stadium, the Hershey Entertainment and Resort Company, extend a warm welcome to everyone in attendance at this most significant 33rd Big 33 Football Classic. Herco's staff and management wish each and every one of you a very pleasant visit to Chocolate Town, USA. I invite you to
See that either.
some of the Hershey hospitality while you're here.
508.
That's the first I've heard him.
With the honorary chairman of the Big 33 game and longtime NFL great Tony Dorsett. You played in this game. What are some of your memories?
Well, I think I remember more than anything is the friendships that were created. You know, you had a week to get here, a week of hard work, and the friendships that were created during that week that we were here.
Always a great game.
Always a great game. It's very exciting. As you can see early in the ball game, we're off to a slow start meeting Pennsylvania, but I expect for some big, exciting plays to happen throughout the rest of the ball game.
Tony, thanks. Good to see you again. John?
Thank you very much. And the new tailback, Coleman has it. He's snowed under as he gets across the 10, maybe to about the 12. He's teamed with Andrew Hyde right now. Hyde is the fullback. Mike Neubheiser made the tackle for Maryland. Not much there at all as they tried the running play. Give them 2 on it.
Well, field position has certainly been a problem in the early going for the Pennsylvania squad. It limits what Jack Young can call at that end of the field. He will go again with Kerry Collins as his quarterback as you get a look at Coleman, the tailback, in there right now.
Bender, wide receiver, split to the right. Bona to the left. Now they shift Coleman with the slot to the left, and Collins almost mishandles the ball. Fires downfield. It is caught. A first down outside the 20 at the 23, and that is the first catch of the game for the big tight end, Kyle Brady.
And a first down.
That was Jason Bender.
You're right, it was Jason Bender in on the pass pattern. The first down for, there you see the loose football. Collins was lucky to recover.
But he had the wherewithal to stay calm, get himself into the pocket. Bender ran a good turnout route. The young man out of North Hills High School who's headed to Georgia Tech makes the first down through the air for Pennsylvania.
At the 22, it'll be 1st and 10. McCoy and Ramsey are now the wide receivers. Coleman, fake to Coleman. Collins under some pressure, goes deep down the middle. He's looking for Ramsey. He's got it. Now it pops loose. Picked up by Maryland. Back they come the other way. And out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Dondre Owens, brother of Andre Owens, picked it up and brought it back. Dondre Owens, number 22, but it's a beautiful pattern over the middle. The hit, though, on Priest Ramsey knocked the ball loose, and it's the first turnover of the night.
Good play action fake here by Collins. Priest Ramsey running a deep fly route or post route up the middle of the field, caught it right in stride, but as he was working his way upfield, it was slopped away from behind on a nice effort.
I think it was Anthony Freeman who got a piece of it, and then Dondre Owens picked up the ball and brought it back to the 40-yard line. First down 10, we'll flip it over. Straight snap now. Both quarterbacks are in the ball game. They come down the near sideline, almost intercepted. Coming back was Antonio Freeman trying to pick it up. Tinker Harris was there defensively, and you won't see that formation very often where you had the quarterback, Bason, breaking one way, and it was snapped directly to the other quarterback, Craig Ray, who was set up at tailback.
And it turned out that Antonio Freeman acted more like the defensive back than the receiver because Harris was right there for the interception until Freeman broke it up.
Maryland leading here in the first period, 6-0.
Let's go back down to John. John?
There's some concern on the Pennsylvania staff that Maryland is using some illegal formations. The teams exchanged formations earlier in the week. There was technically not a shotgun formation given by Maryland to the Pennsylvania team. Maryland has been running the shotgun formation with the quarterback as tailback, putting somebody else in the quarterback position and moving. They're concerned that it's illegal. John?
Well, nothing illegal about watching Marc Bason run because he does it again. Bason had a 68-yarder earlier. This time it is 60 yards for his second touchdown of the night. And another shocker for the young men from Pennsylvania because they simply have not been able to handle Marc Bason.
Marc Bason said this week, I'm the quarterback of the 90s. I got to tell you, he's living up. What's the old line? It ain't bragging if you can do it. And this young man can do it. He says he's a Major Harris clone, and Major Harris was the outstanding talent at West Virginia. And I got to tell you, Joe Krivak at the University of Maryland must be very excited about the prospect of working with Marc Bason in a couple of weeks.
Going to take a timeout because Maryland will go for 2. You're watching the Super Bowl of high school football on the WHTM Sports Network. We pause now for a message from our sponsors.
Society action.
121.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to get your raffle tickets, Sertoma will be coming through the stands to sell raffle tickets for just $1. And UCP folks are going to be selling tickets. We have a great drawing for you tonight, which will take place in the 3rd period, but you need a ticket. We'll be raffling off that beautiful red Buick, also a remote control color television, a VCR unit, a complete 35mm camera outfit, and a cordless telephone. But you need a ticket for only $1. Well worth the opportunity.
Looks like Frank Kush down there.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
We are back, and so far it's been the Marc Bason show. Touchdown runs of 68 and now 60 yards. It's 12-0. The Maryland team will go for 2 after having missed their first point after. No, now they've decided to change. Now here's Bason. He will go with 1 setback. That is Brown. 3 wide receivers, a couple of tight ends, going for 2. Bason lots it toward the end zone. It is cut and good into the hands of David Sierra. Sierra, the tight end, made the catch in the 2-point conversion. Makes it a 14-0 lead for Maryland. David Sierra, one of the 5 on the Maryland team that's going to Howard University.
Nicely executed play here. They took the 2 wide receivers to the right side, had them cross the field to clear the zone, and then the tight end runs an out route underneath. And you see he's got the advantage there. He's got a step or so on Brian Gelzheiser. And there you go.
And let's go back one more time and take a look at Marc Bason.
Once again, it's just great footwork by Bason. Look at his ability to find the opening and then cut back against the grain, picked up a good block, and then it's just sheer speed again. He is not very big. They list him at 6 foot and 200 pounds. I don't think he goes quite that big, John. But with that kind of footwork, he's going to give problems to a lot of coaches in the ACC for the next couple of years.
Eric Bachman will kick off. Bona is deep along with Miller and now Andre Collins on the kick return team. And they are set up short at about the 10-yard line. So they don't expect a deep kick and they do not get it. At the 18, it's Bona. 25, 30, 35, and he fights his way forward to near the 40-yard line. Derek Bona brought it up, tackled by Archie Clark on the play. Let's go down to the field now and check in with Greg Mace. Greg?
So far in the first half, it's been the Marc Bason show. 68 yards, 60 yards, and a 2-point conversion. How are you managing to do it against these guys?
Well, I did it all year. You know, it's no different here. I've been doing it all year during the season.
What's it like once you break into the open?
Oh, all I see is green, and, you know, since, you know, with my speed, I'm just taking it, you know, like I'm supposed to do. That's what my coach brought me up here to do, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay, Marc Bason, 2 touchdowns. Back up to John.
All right, and that was John Repitz. Thank you very much, John. Well, he is doing it all. Frank Costa, number 14, is the quarterback now for Pennsylvania. The pump fake, and down, it's an incomplete pass. He got all kinds of pressure as he was drilled from behind on the play.
Archie Clark, number 24 out of Oakland Mills High School. Again, lining up as a defensive end, John, but in reality, he is more like an outside linebacker at 6'3", 218. And he just ran down Costa. The play with the pump fake took too long, and Clark's speed was the difference.
Well, everybody was looking downfield. He pump faked and wound up being incomplete. Bender is in there to wide receiver. He's split to the near side. Down goes Whaley, Doug Whaley, a backup fullback who's primarily going to be a defensive player, and he was hoping that he'd get a chance to carry the ball a few more times, and that was a good carry, about 9 yards on the play.
They again see the Maryland scoring drive. It only took a couple of plays. Mr. Bason again, and as you could see in our sideline interview, he doesn't lack for confidence. Well, with that kind of ability again, John, you can't fault him.
You absolutely cannot. There's timeout by the official with 2:31 remaining because we do have a player down on the field. And Pennsylvania, for the first time we expected to see it, will go with 2 tight ends. Brady and Holobetz will be in there. Brady we've talked a bit about. Holobetz is from Pottsville. The injured player is also the young man we spoke so highly of from High Point in Maryland. Kevin Jordan is down.
Kevin Jordan, a parade All-American. He's going to UCLA, and the last time that I can recall, John, a great athlete from the East Coast going all the way out to UCLA was a young man by the name of Kenny Easley, who had an outstanding collegiate and pro career. Unfortunately, a kidney ailment has sidelined Kenny Easley. We hope he'll make a recovery
All
from
right, back
those
it up, back it up.
difficulties. But Kevin Jordan certainly looked to be all right and will probably be back in the ball game.
It is second down. Or excuse me, it's third down and 1. They go to the power formation with the 2 tight ends and 3 running backs. Dancing outside is Staten. He's close to the first down.
Nice balance by Staten. Jeff Staten, young man going to Temple University out of Easton High School. I think with his second effort got close enough to get the first down, but
Archie Clark didn't think so, I'll tell you that. Clark reacting like they had held, and let's see. And if they do not, obviously they'll probably go for it on 4th down. This would be 3rd and inches. Excuse me, 4th and an inch or 2. That is right. So between the 48 and the 49, they will go for it. Second time, Jack, that they've tried to go for it. Timeout being called by the official. He's going to come to the sideline and talk to the head coach.
Jack Young wants an explanation. I think he was not real happy with the spot of the football. I think he felt that Staten had gotten more forward progress.
They weren't even in. They tell them to wake up.
So the pressure will be back on the young men from Pennsylvania. Weisting and Whaley will be in there, running backs, along with Staten. They'll set up in a power formation. Priest Ramsey now checks back into the lineup. He is replacing Holobetz, the other tight end. So we'll go with 1 wide receiver and 1 tight end. Still the 3 running backs, at least for right now. 4th down and just inches. Time running out in the first quarter. 2 minutes and 15 seconds to play, along with Jack Corrigan, John Repitz, and Greg Mace, who are down on the field. I'm John Sanders. We're happy to have you with us on a beautiful night in such a beautiful area. Jack, this is just a terrific stadium. It's in great shape. Of course, I guess it ought to be. They don't play on it very much.
The only problem with this stadium is I can smell the chocolate from the Hershey factory, and it's making me hungry.
4th down and inches. 2:15. Clock now turned on as we approach 2 minutes left in the first quarter. It will be close again. Again, it was Staten. and Staten was wrapped up. You saw Burns there, number 43. He is from McNamara High School, headed to Virginia, and just an outstanding student. And Maryland is held again. That's twice, Jack.
They've just done a great job of getting the penetration from their linebackers. Look how they knocked down that big forward wall. And Tom Burns, the Rodman Scholar in engineering at the University of Virginia, shows that he can engineer a pretty good open field tackle as well.
Well, one of the things he wanted to do, he wants to go into nuclear type activity, so he wanted to get a good look at 5 Mile Island and see what that was all about. Marc Bason will be the quarterback again.
Rules, and I said it was flagrant, they said it wasn't. They could see more than you can see.
Well, coach is not happy, is he? Ball is at the 48-yard line of Pennsylvania.
Choke guarded.
Freeman and C split to the near side, and there again they shift out. The ball is snapped directly to the other quarterback, Ray. Ray throwing deep down the middle. The ball is caught and inside the 5. Down he goes near the 2-yard line is Dwayne Wiles from Bladensburg. And he is right near the goal line down to the 2. Gelzheiser and Billingsley there as well. But again, it's that razzle-dazzle that's the problem for Pennsylvania.
Wiles, who's a 4.5 40 man going to the University of Nebraska, just outruns the coverage in the Pennsylvania secondary. Ray also had Bason, the other quarterback, streaking down the near sideline, but found Wiles, who just couldn't keep his balance enough to get it in the end zone. The ground can't cause a fumble, so as soon as he hit the ground, that made it a dead ball. 1st and goal for Maryland.
And you saw that Antonio Freeman was there as well. Now, out of the wishbone formation. Trying to power his way in is Mason. Did he get there? Yes, he did. Mason has scored the 3rd first quarter touchdown for Maryland. So the young men from Maryland who brought their fans with them have jumped ahead here in the 1st quarter. That touchdown comes with only 46 seconds remaining. They went to the wishbone. Mason took it in.
We talked about the size advantage of Pennsylvania, but for the moment anyway, the speed advantage of Maryland has more than compensated for the smaller stature.
Bachman to attempt the extra point. He missed earlier. This kick is same result as the first. It took only 2 plays to cover the 48 yards after that 46-yard pass reception down the middle and another touchdown for Maryland. They add to the lead, which has now grown to 20-0. Certainly a shock for the young men from Pennsylvania, and they'll have to bounce back. You also saw Joshua Holloway, who suffered a broken foot in practice, and that's one of the unfortunate parts of this, is sometimes youngsters do get hurt. He's injured, and Jason Stanchak is out as far as Pennsylvania is concerned. So a couple of youngsters who were here for all of the activities, but not able to play in the game itself. 20-0 is the score, and still 46 seconds remaining.
I was going to say, John, that Pennsylvania right now needs some kind of big play to give themselves a spark. Jack Harville has got to be overwhelmed with how well it has gone here in the early going for Maryland. But in these kinds of games, one quick strike will get you right back into the ballgame. And don't forget the rule. If you're more than 9 points behind, if Pennsylvania scores, they can again maintain possession of the football. They've got to figure out a way to stop Maryland from scoring, however.
Deep men continue to be Bona, Miller, and Coleman. That's Miller. He'll be right in the middle, with Derek Bona on the far side and Andre Coleman to the near side. Eric Bachman, who's having no luck at all with his extra points, kicking off right down the middle, fielded at the 13 by Miller. 20, 25, 30, and his knife down as he crosses the 30 to near the 32-yard line. Andre Owens made the tackle. Let's go down to the field. Greg Mace. Greg?
John, I think this Pennsylvania bench is shocked. They really have been considered the favorites all week. They get most of the attention, obviously, because the game is played in Pennsylvania. Everybody expects them to win. Football in Maryland is not as big as it is on the high school level up here. This Pennsylvania bench is down, and they've really got to come back here to get back in the ball game. That rule is certainly going to help them come the 2nd quarter.
All right, thank you very much, Greg, and we'll check in more with you and John along the sideline. We return now to the game action. Ball at the 32. It's 1st down and 10. Costa is the quarterback. Drops, fires, complete at the 35 to the 40, the 45. Chad Wiesling, the fullback, He's inside the 45 and down near the 43-yard line before he was hit by Dondre Owens. He knifed him under, but it is a big, big gainer, and that's the kind of spark, Jack, that Pennsylvania needs.
And a good play call to make here. A little play action and then just slip the back out of the backfield. Again, the defenses are required to play man-to-man, and the inside linebackers of the Maryland team not with the speed of the people like Craig Wiesling, and that's why you get the big yardage.
We have completed the first quarter of play. One of the bright spots for Pennsylvania so far has been Chad Wiesling. He caught that pass, picked up the yardage, and we invite you to stay tuned for more exciting action from the Big 33 Football Classic. We're live in Hershey, Pennsylvania. All righty. Hey, thanks. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Turn this over.
Touching the thing. Okay. This can't be done. Can't be done. I have an injury update on Maryland's Kevin Jordan. He was helped off in the first quarter. Badly bruised right knee. Trainers say it's nothing serious. He should be okay. They just don't think he's going to come back tonight. Back up to John.
All right, John, thank you very much. We're getting set to start the second quarter of play. I'm John Sanders along with Jack Corrigan. 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Bason, a 68-yard touchdown run, then a 60-yard touchdown run. Mason, the 1-yard touchdown run to cap the third scoring drive of the first quarter in Pennsylvania. We're working on a 26-yard pickup on the pass to Wiesling. Coleman split to the near side along with Derek Bona. Jason Bender in there as well. The lone setback is Whaley, the fullback. Down at the 45-yard line goes Frank Costa. Donta Jones was right there to make the hit. The big tight end from McDonough High School who's headed to Nebraska. Donta Jones.
Costa trying to take a little short roll to his right. And Archie Clark is the guy who puts the pressure, and then Jones finishes it off with a little bit of help along the way from Jamie Cook.
Jamie Cook from Annapolis, headed to Morgan State. Back to the 45-yard line.
Archie Clark's been the difference in the ballgame thus far defensively for Maryland.
Whaley across midfield and back he moves into Maryland territory as he gets inside the 45 to the 44. Curtis Thomas made the tackle along with Donta Jones again. Jones is everywhere right now.
Mr. Whaley trying to put a claim in there with the Pitt Panthers to play on both sides of the football. As we talked, he is more than likely going to be a defensive performer for Pitt, but he's been an effective runner in the early going for Pennsylvania.
Ball spotted near the 44-yard line. It is still third down and long yardage, and there you see Mason's 1-yard run, which capped the third touchdown drive of the first quarter. We're now in the second quarter, and it is third and long. Rolling left is Costa. Sets, fires deep down the middle. He's looking for Coleman, and he's got it at the 5-yard line. Coleman made the catch. Anthony Freeman on defense, but Coleman picks up the big gainer to the 5.
Outstanding touch by Frank Costa, the young man out of St. Joe's Prep High School in Philadelphia, heading to the University of Miami. Feathers this ball straight downfield, catching his target in mid-stride. Beautiful pass completion. Andre Coleman with the grab. Best chance yet to put points on the board for Pennsylvania.
Coleman picks up 39 yards on the catch. Sweeping is Coleman. 5. Head down. He's down at the 1-yard line. Coleman with a sweep to the left side, trying to take it in and cap the drive. Couldn't do it. It'll be 2nd and goal. Matt Dyson made the tackle, number 26.
Coleman will come out now as they make a couple of substitutions, and they will go with the 2 tight ends now as Corey Hollebetz joins Kyle Brady on the ends of the front wall for Pennsylvania, and they've brought Dwayne Miller back into the ball game at tailback.
And also into the ball game is Whaley. He's one of the power backs, so it's Miller, Weistling, and Whaley. They go from the power formation with 2 tight ends. Miller, touchdown, Pennsylvania.
And keep in mind, they are still down by more than 9 points. So this is different than a typical ball game. Pennsylvania's on the board, and right after they run the 2-point conversion, they can ask for the ball right back. Dwayne Miller, no problem finding the end zone. He did that 35 times in his high school career.
The kicker is Craig Fayak. Brian Gelzheiser, number 16, will hold. Fayak trying to tack on the extra point. It is up and it is good, and Pennsylvania is on the board with a chance to get the football back. 9:19 remaining to be played in the first half. It is Maryland 20 and Pennsylvania 7. And this is the one thing about the rule, a chance for Pennsylvania to come back in the ball game. You are watching the Big 33 Football Classic. It's 20-7, Maryland leading. We'll be back after these messages.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, the rules of the team on the short end gets the ball. Maryland will kick off to Pennsylvania.
Same 3, Miller, Bona, and Coleman, right?
Receiving team up front. Receiving team. Receiving team. Timmy. Okay, get back. Get back. Back behind the yellow. Back behind the yellow. Back behind the yellow. Back
Number
behind
3,
the yellow.
Eric Blackman, set to kick off for the redshirted Maryland All-Stars. Bona at the 17. Gets out across the 35.
Welcome back. Kicking off, Carlos Jackson down to make the tackle defensively. Bona brought the kickoff back, and we've already touched on the rule. Might as well reinforce it again, Jack. This is the reason is when you're down by 9, you can get the ball back in this all-star format.
Anytime you have a deficit of 9 or more points after one of your scores, you can request a kickoff again, and that's the situation for Pennsylvania right now. Last year it was 21-0 Pennsylvania at halftime, and Maryland came back because of this rule.
2 wide receivers split to the left. All kinds of time, looking near side and getting hung.